Welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm here with Selina Winchester. Selina is somebody working the field in Pennsylvania, and she has some information to tell us about our voters in Pennsylvania. Selina, we were talking earlier today, and you told me some issues that's happening in Pennsylvania that you said have always occurred, but it's more important this year. Why don't you tell me a little bit about absentee ballots and their cancellation rates, etc.?
Yes, this year is the first time that we have had early voting in Pennsylvania. Now, our early voting is not by machine. It's basically an absentee ballot that you get. You can request it in the mail ahead of time and return it either by mail. You can drop it off at the election office, or you can put it in one of the drop boxes. Well, what's happening with those early voting ballots is people aren't putting them in the secrecy envelope before putting it in the larger envelope, and they're being rejected because of that, or because they don't have signatures on them, or the signatures don't match the signature on their voter registration card. So they're being rejected. The problem with being rejected is they're not notifying the people that they are being rejected. And as it's turning out now, we're finding out is that over the years, people whose absentee ballots have been rejected really have never been notified.
Wow, that is sad. And so now the thing about it, if somebody finds out that their ballot is rejected, will they be able to go ahead and make corrections or vote? Or if it's rejected, can they vote in person?
They're not necessarily notified that it's been rejected. That's the thing. So you can't really go and correct it. Now, if that's changing in the next 2 weeks, I don't know. But as far as I know right now, is we had an average of about 50 ballots a day in our area that's being rejected.
Now, what
And
percentage
they
of
just won't
your
count.
daily vote does that 50 represent?
I actually don't know right now, and it's hard to tell because a lot of the ballots that are coming in are if they drop it off in a drop box. A lot of our areas don't have drop boxes yet, and so they're coming in different ways: the drop box, the election office, or mail. So overall, I don't know what that represents, but I don't think we can afford to lose that many in this district. This is a swing district.
That's a lot of
Um,
votes.
it's a lot of votes. It's fifth, Northampton, Lehigh County is supposedly the bellwether of the election, nationally, and and it being the first time that we're doing early voting, it's kind of disheartening to not be able to correct your mail-in ballot, because one, we have a lot of elderly people that live in Pennsylvania, and a lot of them live in this region. And so if they're voting by mail for the first time, having to complete the ballot, and it's a simple ballot, but it's a 3-step process.
Right, and they
And
do that on
everything.
purpose. That is a form of voter suppression that these people use. Now, Selina, I'm going to, this is something that I think information has to get out even more so. Now, Biden is flushed with money, more money than he can spend, okay? So I hope that the politicians in your area are going to actually solicit what's necessary to really put a fix on that. One of the things that I've found with the Democratic Party too often is that their response is too slow, and by the time they start responding, it's all over.
Yeah, I know. The campaign has started in-person canvassing now. That was something that I know a lot of the people who volunteered years ago wanted to do. So now they're doing what we call lit drops. So they just go around to different voters and drop off literature about the campaign. So that in-person contact with voters has started. But yes, they do have a lot of money, and I know there's been a lot of lawsuits, one lawsuit after another, mainly to fight voter suppression, and the Attorney General has been winning these lawsuits. But what happens is, if it's a lawsuit basically to prevent drop boxes from being established throughout the different municipalities, the Democrats, or they just don't put up the drop box until they get the okay to put up the drop
While
box.
we see what's happening in California, that California, they just went ahead and threw out 52 drop boxes and nobody, and when they said, well, we are going to do something about it, they said, to hell with you guys, we're doing it.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because the lawsuits take time, and then by the time the decision comes down, yes, you're allowed to put up the drop boxes. It's 2 weeks before they can be up and running, and so people either find themselves having to drive miles to drop their ballots in at the election office or put it in the mail.
Well, Selina, look, thank you very much for talking to Politics Done Right. I know that you're going to continue your work out there in the good old state of PA, which is one of our important states for winning this election. So, muchísimas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros.
Muchas gracias.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.